I have been saying for years that in the 1960s, in 61 through 65, when the minimum wage was, in today's dollars, about $10.15 an hour, that people who were working at the minimum wage, like me, I was making $2.35 an hour, which you can inflate that up to today's minimum wage. If today it would be a little over $10 an hour. I was making $2.35 an hour as a DJ at WITL AM and FM, Lansing, Michigan, and pumping gas at an Exxon station and changing tires on weekends. And as a dishwasher, a cook, and for one whole day, a waiter at Bob's Big Boy on Trowbridge Road in East Lansing, Michigan. All of those were minimum wage jobs. And I could pay my way through college. My parents kicked in not a penny. Well, I didn't finish college, but I mean, had I chosen to, I could have. Louise, my wife, was working as a waitress at Howard Johnson's. I think she was making less than minimum wage because she was getting tips. And you could pay your way through school. Back in the 60s. This was back in the late 60s, early 70s. Most people did. Student debt, who ever heard of student debt? Unless you wanted to get an MD or something. If you wanted to go to graduate school, student debt made sense. But 4 years, easy. Why? Because the minimum wage you could live on. Well, here's what the president had to say about the minimum wage, clip number 9, last night.
Tonight, let's declare that in the wealthiest nation on earth, no one who works full-time should have to live in poverty, and raise the federal minimum wage to $9 an hour.
So there you go. And by the way, if that were to happen, it would be an enormous stimulus for this country. Because when you look back at the history of the minimum wage, every single time, going all the way back to 1935 when it was introduced, every single time the minimum wage has been raised over the next 3 years, what you see is a substantial increase in economic activity. Why? Because as anybody who's ever taken an economics course can tell you, demand is what drives economies. People wanting things, people buying and having the means to pay for them. And when you give more money to people, and I don't mean give as in a gift, when people who spend 100% of their income have a little extra income, whether it's the result of, what Bernie Sanders suggested and George W. Bush did, giving everybody a $300 one-time tax rebate back in 2001 or 2002 when they did that, or whether it's cutting the payroll tax, which Obama did last year, or whether it's raising the minimum wage, whatever it may be. When average working people who spend 100% of the money that they make, or damn close to it, when they have a little more money, they spend a little more money. When they spend a little more money, shopkeepers sell a little more stuff. And when they sell a little more stuff, they need to hire extra clerks. And they need to buy more stuff. And when they need to buy more stuff, the wholesalers need to deliver more stuff. And when the wholesalers need to deliver more stuff, the delivery truck people have to hire new delivery truck drivers. And the manufacturers have to gear up more manufacturing. And as the manufacturers gear up more manufacturing, they need to buy more raw materials. And as they're buying more raw materials, the raw material suppliers have to hire and it's called this knock-on effect. It's called the multiplier effect. $1 in spending over the course of 2 years can produce as much as $4 in an economy, regardless of where that spending comes from. Cash registers don't say, "Oh, is this a government dollar?" You walk into Macy's or McDonald's and say, here's a dollar, here's $2 or here's $20 or here's $200, whatever it is. And they're not going to say, "Oh, is that a government dollar?" If that's a government dollar, we're not going to pass that along to our suppliers. That had to come from the private sector. You understand? Government dollars don't increase the economy. I'm sorry. Mitch McConnell, Rand Paul, Paul Ryan, these guys, they may be well-intentioned. They're certainly well-funded by billionaires who benefit from people being ignorant about economics. But the simple fact of the matter is that if you want to stimulate the economy, which we need to do, we don't have full employment. The job of the government is to provide for full employment. That's not the job of capitalism. The job of capitalism is so people can make money. And full employment might happen and it might not. And more often than not, it doesn't. The job of government is to make sure that the people who are making money in a way that benefits society, which includes full employment. You want full employment, you stimulate the economy by raising the minimum wage.